My suggestion? Don't.
No!
I know not what I do. I knew you'd follow, Scott. It's all you do. Just ask the professor.
Fight, Sinister. Use the powers of your mind.
Do not want to fight you, comrade!
Protesters are
Gene,
demanding
gotta get
heads
into the
of
city.
Magneto and
Crowd's
the
lost
UN
their
leaders.
blasted mind.
Logan! He's here!
Who? Apocalypse?
I don't want to fight you either. I want you to fight for me.
Yes, my queen. I am power!
Give us a boy, you brimstone clone.
The baby!
Oh, crap.
I applaud your magnetism. Beyond mere metal. Look at you. A villain playing dress up as a hero. Careful, Logan!
Get out the way! Get out of the way!
I should have you as a toy. Don't worry.
Hang tight, Shady. Almost there. Almost there.
Enough violation! I was Phoenix. Me, power incarnate! Power? Is that all you can remember?
Enough! You all need to...
Sorry, sugar. Prep an IV and get this lady to a room.
Please, let me help you. Can you tell me who I am? Can you say which of these memories are yours and which are mine? You are nothing!
No matter how dark it is, we must believe in each other.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, all of that beautiful YouTube stuff. All of those interactions help us in the algorithm so we can go straight to the moon, baby. Today we're going to get into X-Men 97, episode 3 for me, entitled Fire Made Flesh, and basically it adapts the Inferno storyline from the comic books from late 80s, early 90s, I kind of forget, but basically it adapts that story, but into one episode. Basically, where we picked up at this, the beginning of this episode is where we left off at the end of last episode, with Jean Grey at the front door of the Xavier mansion, as everyone's trying to figure out who's the real Jean. Beast had run some studies and says that the Jean that had come to the door is actually the real Jean, and that the Jean that they've been with is a clone. The reason why he knows this is because of carbon dating on some of their cells, and that Jean's cells are older, making her the original, the one that came looking for help at the end of last episode. So, as they continue to deal with this fallout, the Jean that is Nathan's mother, the one that's been married to Cyclops, becomes very aggravated at everyone for not believing that she could be the real Jean. But at the same time, with everything that they go through, you would think that maybe she would have a little bit of understanding to why there's possibly a discrepancy because of all the enemies that they have that are looking to take them down. So, but she, again, when you feel like you're the real deal Holyfield, you don't want to hear all that. You just want to be believed. As she's in the bedroom with Nathaniel and her, she begins to hear voices and see images. Well, not voice, a voice, and see images of Mr. Sinister. He confirms that she is a clone. He wanted to use her to basically help make Nathaniel because he feels like that the combination of Jean Grey's cells and Scott Summers' cells will create the perfect mutants. That mutant winds up becoming Cable. So with that discovery, the Jean that we thought was real starts making the mansion into a living nightmare, making the X-Men see all of their deepest fears, or at least the ones that are there. Like Gambit seeing how Rogue and Magneto are growing closer together. Jubilee and Sunspot were watching a horror movie, and the horror movie came to life. But in that instance, Robert sees his mother being very disappointed that he's a mutant. And things like this where they're facing their deepest insecurities until finally the Jean that we've been following stops the illusion and lets them know, like, I could do way worse, so don't follow me, I'm out. So she takes off with the kid. Later, we kind of find out that the X-Men now find out that for sure that Sinister behind everything. And they explain to Robert DaCosta why this is a big deal, because he kind of made fun of the name Mr. Sinister. But basically, Morph tells him like he's the most evil man he's ever known, the most evil man on the planet, and explains how he was able to live so long and what his malformations are, his end game. And they discover that Nathaniel is going to be used by Sinister for nefarious purposes. So Morph seems to know where his hideout is, and they go to face him. Magneto is done with this guy. So he takes Bishop, Morph, and Cyclops to go face Sinister, and I'm going to start calling her Madeline because she winds up becoming Madeline Pryor. And then the rest stay home to take care of the wounded. Wolverine helps Jean, the real Jean, focus her powers again because she was having a hard time using her powers and remembering how to use them, being she was out for so long. And finally, she uh, collects herself and is able to regain her control over her powers. Back at this church, this citadel, if you will, the team that wants to go face Madeline and Sinister are now facing their own inferno, if you will. They face off against some demons and stuff. Morph even turns into Ilyana Rasputin, who at one point, sorry, was the Queen of Limbo and a big part of the Inferno storyline in comic books. It would have been nice to see Ilyana Rasputin in this, but they kind of glossed over a lot of things. They left a few characters out that were vital to the Infernal storyline. But I digress. I want to rant and rave about these things, but I have to remember that not everything has to be comic accurate, and not everything has to be what I think it is, because there's better ideas or more fine-tuned ideas that could be better portrayed and better seen. And in an overall sense, this episode was fine. I just wish that they would have given more time for the Infernal story, really, because there's so much going on there that they missed. But again, I digress. The episode itself was a fine episode. Again, the animation to this is great, very well polished. Yeah, I can't say more. I can't praise the animation more. It's excellent, in my opinion. Finally, Jean is able to reach into Madeline Pryor's mind and remind her of who she is and that she doesn't need to be controlled. And she breaks Sinister control over her. Scott and Madeline defeat Mr. Sinister and free Nathaniel from his clutches. But when that happens, we discover that Nathaniel has been infected with the techno-organic virus, which is no cure here in this current timeline. Also, concurrently going on, Beast has fixed Bishop's time platform bracelet, or if you will, and he steps in as the replacement for Rachel Summers or the Ascani clan. Those were the people who originally took Cable back to the future to help cure him and teach him how to control the virus in his body. Rachel Summers is Cable's sister. But again, Bishop was used for that particular thing to bring Nathaniel into the future so he can be cured, but there's no return visit for him. So Madeline agrees for Bishop to take him. Scott disagrees, but he didn't put up much of a fight either. I kind of find Scott to be how Madeline and Nathaniel got treated by Scott in the comic books and here kind of is lame. Not lame. I just always found Scott to be a lame-o, bro, when it comes to this. That as soon as the real Jean comes back, he's simping for her and ignoring the marriage and the child of Madeline Pryor. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, in my opinion, what Scott did during those times. But yeah, so Bishop takes the baby into the future. Madeline decides to go, and Jean wishes her farewell after inviting her to stay at the mansion. but she feels like they both need to start new. And that's when she asks to be referred to as Madeline Pryor. And she takes off. And the last scene is of Storm in a bar having a beer. They're in like in a very dry, a desert area, and some man approaches her about how he sure wishes someone can make it rain around here. And she knows what he's getting to, and she's like, "Well, get to the point, basically." And we see it's Forge, and he explains how he's an old friend of Charles Xavier, and how he would like to maybe help her gain her powers back. And that's where we leave the episode. I was kind of hoping that that's where they would go with Storm, because in her spirit quest, if you will, around the time of the comic books, her and Forge do meet and wind up falling in love and having a great love between the two of them. So I'd like to see how that plays out in the future of this season. I thought the story itself was okay. Again, the animation was great. Again, my only gripe really was that they didn't stretch the Inferno story out to at least 2 episodes and build kind of towards it. But yeah, it's really just a nitpick of mine, to be honest with you. I still find episode 2 to be the best episode so far. This is the second, and then the first is, third on the list of episodes released that I enjoyed so far, at least. So you let me know down below what you think of this episode, what you're thinking of the series, and until next time, peace, Snookums.